I mustn't always be the first to have been a winner. To allow you feel there's some contests I go into because I realize this person loves to compete, and especially, okay, if you deal with children with special abilities, you deal with autistic children, for them winning is it. But if you've not taught the other child to master his or her emotions, she goes in to win.
Yeah.
But she doesn't realize in allowing the other child feel that she had the best game, you have won because you made the day for that person.
Yeah.
So for me, every time I help another person make a day, it's not about who won an argument. It's not about who. Winning for me comes in different contexts. So people don't understand when I've not, you don't see all the results I want, but I tried.
So
That's a win.
using that context, so winning means whatever your intention was to start with. So if my goal was I want to make somebody feel good today, and that was when I go in and then we go to a competition and let the person win. So I have won my day because I've fulfilled my goal for today, which is to make someone feel good.
So you walk into an office and you realize that this human in this office is going to try to hit your last nerve.
Yeah.
And he pushes all the buttons that day and you're as calm.
You won.
Everybody feels fired back.
Yeah.
But you won.
Yeah.
As you walk away, you're smiling.
Yeah.
They feel you've done,
You're weak, you couldn't
sometimes
fight back.
I think if I want to think the way you think, I just think this guy has further plans. But absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You feel I've done good.
Yeah. I was able to hold and keep my emotions.
Absolutely.
I had control over my emotions. So I won over that rage.
Yes.
So how does one keep...
But talking down the person could be the way other people win.
So they feel like I've won.
Yes, I put him in his space. I just put him in his space.
I changed it for them.
But you see, going low as a person doesn't make you greater.
Yeah.
You can always go over it.
I say this, like this just came into me. I was writing and I was writing about my personal experience from being bullied over time, and I came to realization that you cannot out trash.
No,
like
you can't.
you can't beat someone at their lowest. Like you can only go higher. So taking it back in terms of like winning and losing, sometimes when you are going through life and then you're going through your goals and you're striving to make things happen and it's not just happening for you, how do you stay doing that? Because motivational speakers will tell you consistency is key. Keep going, keep doing it. But it gets tiring when you are showing that consistency and dedication, but nothing just seems to work out. So like in that phase of failure, how do you stay consistent? How do you stay on the game?
So it's not that nothing seems to work. It's that you haven't realized how much you've learned. The only way you haven't learned is if you repeat the same process that you didn't win through.
Okay.
In the phase you want to try again.
Yeah.
The essence of growth is process.
Yeah.
So I tried this process. So a child comes without teeth, has milk teeth, then loses all the milk teeth. Has she lost her teeth? No. It goes and then it comes.
Comes back.
It goes and it comes. And even at old age, there are some that now have the wisdom to trying to sprout out and all that.
Yeah.
For me, it is, you need to, at every point in time, evaluate, where did I start? What have I learned? Know when to let go. So recently, I've been teaching business lessons with the Song of the Gambler. It says, you got to know when to hold on, know when to let go, know when to run.
Yeah.
You don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. It's not in the midst of the chaos that you start saying, you see, this didn't work. There will be time enough to count it when the game is or the deal is done. These were songs. This sounds like just a song, but life is a gamble. And even that motivational speaker that tells you to aspire, to inspire and all that, doesn't even fully understand the context of the results. None of us honestly do understand. I plant and I hope to reap. I do not know what happens in between. I have evaluations for the number of plants that may die.
Yeah.
But I don't control volcanic eruptions. I don't control climate changes.
Yeah.
I only
Natural
have
disasters.
You don't control those. So you only hope. So each day of life is lived through hope. Consistency requires that you set your goals irrespective of what it is could happen, irrespective of natural disasters, irrespective of economic situations. But then you also plan to fail. That's how you succeed.
That's interesting.
Your ability to
nobody ever
plan
plans
to
to fail.
fail.
Nobody ever. I'm planning so that I could fail. Like nobody
Oh,
plans.
so then you're not planning to succeed. Planning to fail means that you've made a plan and put a plan in place just in case this doesn't work. It's not because you don't believe plan A will work. It is that you're looking at whatever else could happen. And people that have had great growth have had lots of plan Bs. It doesn't mean that they're weaklings or they don't have faith. Is that so why do you go around with your extinguisher in your car? Do you plan to set your car on fire? No.
Okay.
It is that another car could actually be on fire. Anything could happen. You could pass by a shop on fire and use your extinguisher. So if the people that manufacture cars plan with the car failing in mind, why would we plan life that is a daily role, that has an engine, which is us, without space for it to fail? That's the first thing. The second thing for me is this. Like we just talked about winning. Failing is a way to win. Failing helps you evaluate. If you keep having success, you don't know what deep growth is. When a tree comes, when you plant a palm, the first thing isn't for it to go up, it goes down.
To get the roots.
It gets its roots, it gets fitted into the ground. It gets it builds its trunk as it's coming. The first thing you see is not the seeds that you replant. The first thing you see is it coming through the ground. But before it comes up on the ground, a few minutes before we started, we talked about wind trees.
Yeah.
And look at the space of time that it takes a palm to grow. 5 years for the Tanera species. Now for the modified species, it takes them about 3 years to grow. Now, think of 3 years.
Of seeing nothing.
Of seeing nothing. Meanwhile, you had made a plan to see everything in the first year. Meanwhile, this is a palm.
Yeah.
You need to understand, are you planting fresh pepper or are you planting palm? Are you planting rice or are you planting cassava? What are you planting? What are the conditions that are needed for the growth of this thing?
Yeah.
What are you patient for it to grow? Some people want overnight growth. There are trees that grow overnight. The
Everybody
wind tree.
wants to be that tree.
But wait till the wind comes. We'll know which one you actually want to be. Because you go in and the wind trees are all fallen.
Yeah.
They make a whole lot of noise. They are very beautiful, but they don't last. But the palm tree takes all the time in the earth. Yeah. And when it comes up in 5 years, it stays for 23 years. Which would you rather be?
So is that growth process that we all want to skip? Because we all want to scurry through the process. We know, and the process is where the magic happens.
The blow syndrome is not helping this generation now.
Not. It is.
We want to blow.
Yes.
But the challenge is everything that is blown is never really put together. Even if you bring gold and put it, you still see particles of it. So you break a pot. Yes, I like the theory. The potter puts uses gold and blends it, but the pot is never the same. Yeah. So
there's always the mark of the crack.
Honestly, I think that we as people, we need to purposefully understand what growth is and be deliberate about understanding what we are trying to grow. Are you trying to grow a business? What are the realistic figures? Now with social media adverts and all that, everybody says, okay, just put it on Facebook, put ads, buy ads.
Push it.
No. What depth does this business need?
Yeah.
What nurturing does it need? What knowledge, what expertise, what professionalism, what support do you have these things? And then when you compare yourself to plants that have grown overnight, the question is, what was growing? What was the antecedents?
What were they doing?
So sometimes people come and say, oh, but I've seen somebody plant a palm and in 2 years, that plant was in the nursery for 1 year. It was in hiding.
Oh, we don't see that.
We don't see when it was in the nursery.
Yeah,
we see when the person put it. You've not asked questions. You just said, no, I want the one that comes with bar now.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Everybody has a process. And you see, I like that we started with what perfection is and the idea of illusions.
Yeah.
So you're able to know that everything has a process. Understand the process, then you understand if growth is effectively happening or sustainable for you. And then failing to tells you, is it time to retrieve? Is this what I want to consistently do? So you can't keep going in one direction and not know where you're going to.
Yeah, I was just about to get there. When do you know when to pull out? When to say, you know what? Because there are businesses that have been in existence for a while and they've decided, you know what, it's no longer working. I think it's time to close down. How do you get to that point? Can you say they gave up without, like, in that? I mean, the process wasn't materialized and they give up doing the process? Or were they really sure? Like, it's hard because you might feel like, I want to close it down, but is that the right thing to do? Am I being impatient?
Firstly, have you done your best? So things evolve. Life evolves. There was the time where what analogy should I use? Okay, so when we used to listen to music on the recorders, they put it on and then it keeps going. Fine. Now it's prestigious to have that in your home, but it's not efficient. It's not fast.
It's not fast.
But then, this generation, think about it too. The records our fathers had then are still working now because of the way they were saved. Yeah. But they took a lot of space. At a certain point, you know when to evolve. If you have strategically worked on a structure to say, these are the things I'm going to evaluate. This A, this B, this C shows me that I am doing well. If A, B, C happens, these are the milestones. And when A didn't happen, when milestone A didn't happen, what happened? So it's a back and forth. Yeah. You don't just plant and then you leave. You go, you take away the grass, you look at it, you prune, you look at it, you water, you look at it, you add manure. Have you done all these things? And the tree still dies. Then it's dead. You either take it out, evaluate, okay, what didn't I do rightly? Yeah. And then start all over again. Yeah. When you now understand what you've done rightly, or you evolve and you say, okay, I realize that I don't have the right land, I don't have the right manure, I don't have the patience to plant. Yeah. Okay, so I'm now going to distribute oil. So you allow the people that have the patience to do that to do it. And you now present yourself as a person that is able to help and support a different process. For some of us, life will come to us. We belong to different processes in life, but because we feel that we must be the planters, the consumers, the sellers, the exporters.
I think learning to delegate, learning to hire expertise,
learning to accept what your strengths
are. Yeah, I that's something I personally struggle with because I want to be able to do everything. I want to be.
And that happens when we're highly intelligent. So I even struggle with that. So over the years, I had to say to myself, Mmanti, what do you want to do now? So you come to my laptop, and there are 120 tabs. 120 tabs open, pages open on a tab, and you're like, what's the problem? So I can't even see the icons on either.
Oh wow.
But because I'm like, this one was on this side, this one was on this side, and then you go, I'm typing the email, I remember something I needed to finish, I leave. As you grow, you realize that you're not efficient when you do that. Being a multi-potentialite can be very deceptive if you do not have consistency, organizational, and administrative skills. And first administrative skill is knowing when to delegate. 2 is knowing what you cannot do. Not because you cannot learn to do it.
At that time, you don't need to do it at that time.
The least of my worries now is how to drive myself. I can afford to pay a driver. I can think when he's driving, why am I bothered on navigating the roads when I can afford another person a meal to do that for me? Knowing what it is, not trying to do everything. It's not weakness to say, I can't do this.
That's a word for me. That's a word for me.
And then number 2 is learning to say no. There was a time where, can you speak at this conference?
Yes.
Can you send me these documents? Yes. Can you help me review this? Yes. When I got into my 30s, I had to learn to say no. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. My ability to say, I'm sorry, I can't do this thing. But I can refer you to somebody that can do it. Then, and it's 2 ways. You could pay me to distract me, though, you know. It depends on
what the pay is.
Because the job and the pay. So when I started restructuring my life, I had to decide what the major themes of my life were. So you see, when you're very good, everybody wants you everywhere. So one of the days, somebody invites me to speak at a particular conference. I could blend into that context, but I didn't want to be seen as this person. I was growing my career in education, and I didn't want that to be messed with. So over that season and time, all I attended to was that kind of thing. So people had a full grasp that this is where her strength is. It's not that I can't do every other thing. Everything is, what does it say? Everything is acceptable, but not everything is right to do. Okay. 2, I also understand that carrying the dicks and jumping jacks is not my calling or grace in life. But can I swim? Yes. Can I ride a bicycle? It's odd, but those are the exercises I can do. Can I do a treadmill? By all means. It's a lazy man's exercise. When I see you jumping jacks, lady, I appreciate you. That's your grace. When I see you skipping, by all means, I'm not trying to be you. I know what it is that I can do. I can drink water in a cup and in a basin. Not a problem. Send me there. But always understanding at every time. So that's number 2, saying no. And 3 is accepting what you best can do. We talked about the best. What's the best? So if you ask me to come and sit like you are in front of the camera for 24 hours, you have completely messed with me. I don't even want to do videos. I had to prep myself for today. So people mistake because I speak on stage and I train that I like cameras. I don't like cameras. In fact, we take pictures and then I hide. There are pictures that are taken when I bring them, like so fine. I realize that I'm not cut for that. I'm cut for thinking, creating processes, strategizing. I can sit behind happily and support you to make this happen. I don't want to be in front of the camera. But are there times I have to be like now?
Yes.
I understand that season. So when you have these 4 things in place and then you understand who you are and what you're becoming, you're able to understand what growth is. Is growth my ability to today to have said at a particular training, I need to leave at this time because I have to be on this program at this time.
Exactly.
I could also be there because they had said to me, you have a way with presentations. And I said, no, I've taken somebody else can present. Understanding what growth is for you. Will I fail? Many times, yes. Will I get a decision to support somebody wrong? Will the person mess up that opportunity?
Maybe.
Yes, they will. Will you go for a job and they don't pay you your worth? will people negotiate way below what your fees are?
Yeah.
Yes, it will happen. But you will learn at that point, what didn't I do rightly?
So you're taking that personal account of
Taking
yourself.
personal account.
You're responsible for you. So you have to be the one to pay attention.
Absolutely.
Make that account. Don't wait for somebody else.
And then you need to hold yourself by certain standards.
Yeah.
I know who I'm evolving to. I know who I want to become. It doesn't look like it. But when I look at where I'm coming from and where I am, I do know that I have evolved. I do know that I'm doing better.
Yeah.
So sometimes I stop and I check. So someone said, Mmanti, you're out of circulation. I'm like, no, I'm in circulation where I'm best needed. So am I needed here or am I just wanted? Understanding where you're wanted and where you're needed is the essence of knowing what you're living for.
And then that'll help you to say yes or no. Knowing, okay, I'm needed here and I know that my need, if I meet a need, I'll be more impactful.
So we take Silverbed Galleria and we keep it in a rural community.
Yeah.
Do people want to go to theater there? Yes. Do they have the capacity to pay for that? No. So sometimes people come, you're in a particular city, so I will mention cities because I work in different cities.
Yeah.
But you're in this city that we live in, and you're trying to do business, and you want a bigger city audience to be paying for that. Yeah. Why not move to that city?
Yeah.
Why are we asking a goat to struggle to survive swimming in water? Understand what you are.
And where you thrive.
Where you thrive. So these are the things you need to evaluate. Why exactly is what that is happening?
Yeah.
Why are you not thriving here?
Yeah.
And in understanding why you're not thriving, you can then decide, this is why I'm not growing. It's not necessarily that thing is not growing. I'm in the wrong place.
Doing the right thing at the wrong place. So you're not.
They're selling pole and fish in a rural community.
Nobody answers.
How many people are going to work? They are in their houses.
Yeah.
They are making their meals.
Yeah.
But you come to the city, everybody is buying. So you need to put in certain dynamics ever with business, with your life, because lack of growth could be in life. You could feel, I'm not growing.
Yeah.
Understand the people that you are called to serve.
Yeah.
I understand the people that I want in my circle.
Yeah.
There are people that are acquaintances. There are people that are friends.
Comrades.
There are people that I work with on projects. There are people that I work with when I'm most comfortable or relaxed. There are people that call me, and immediately I see their calls.
Yeah.
I just know this person has a need, not necessarily money. I realize that my relationship with these people are based on what they need from me.
Yeah.
So I don't get upset. I don't say, well, why wouldn't you just wake up and call me? Because they don't even understand that kind of relationship. In accepting what it is the relationship we have is me being able to accept them as they are. When I define all that, I know what growth is.
Lady Mmanti, if we keep talking, we're gonna be here the whole
day. I agree.
Because I know how our phone call just keeps going and going and going. So, but before we round up, just what are the 3 things that you live by? Just list them. The 3 things that you live by, like it's your personal mantra that keeps you going. Or it can be 2, it can be 1, but the one thing that
personal mantra.
Yeah.
I think that seasons evolve what my mantra is, but there's one key thing: being true to self. Yeah. 2,
that's ultimate.
The 1 and 2 is 1, being true to self. Being true to self means, am I happy with the decision? If I'm unhappy with it, why would I be unhappy and still make the decision? Yeah. What are the things I'm considering or not considering when I'm taking this choice? Why would I want to come here rather than be here? Yeah. So first is be true to myself. If I'm able to be true to myself, then I can face whatever comes. Number 2 for me is understanding why I am here. That supersedes who I am. Yeah. Why am I here? And here doesn't mean in this show, here means why do I exist?
Yeah.
And the key for why I exist is because I am, you are.
Yeah.
My existence determines the existence of many others. So there are certain decisions I will not take. There are certain decisions I will take. There are certain things I cannot do.
Yeah.
And there's so many other things I will strive,
and must do.
Must do.
Yeah.
Because I am.
Yeah.
So the Ubuntu thing is for me the key.
Yeah.
The next is truth to self.
Yeah.
And then in evolving seasons is always, what is my relevance in this season?
Yeah.
What does God want me to do? What does humanity do? Why is humanity depending on me to be at this event, in this community? Why do I have to say this? Sometimes I go into a place and I have absolutely nothing to say because I realize there's nothing to give.
Yeah.
Not because I don't have to give, but I've not been called to give. I need to understand those three seasons. And when I do that, that's for me. So one, because I am, every other person is. And because they are, I am. It helps me coexist and accept people as they are, determine people I need to live on the edge with. So know that, you can't step on their toes and that. Determine who are my friends, who will be there, who I can ask certain things of. And then being true to myself. Yeah. Am I honestly happy? Am I honestly doing my best? Yeah. I'm not in a struggle with anybody because I want everybody to win.
Win, exactly.
So that's for me is this person winning because I won? Yeah. Or is another person going to win? And then 3 is at every point in time, what does this season demand? Because I realize my life is in seasons. What I could do in my 20s, travel around the world, answer to different presidencies, answer to different communities. That season is gone. Now, what do I want to do? I consult. I share experience and expertise. That is what it is that I do.
I think for me personally is just one thing. Find God and then you find yourself. That's it.
I agree.
Once you find God, every other thing.
But He's not missing.
He's not missing. So just look within.
Accept God.
Accept God.
And then find yourself.
Miss Mmanti, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And keep doing good.
Thank you. It means so much, guys. You heard it. I mean, if you didn't rewind, go back because she dropped so much gem. I'm just gonna go back and watch this and just use it as my daily, because you've said so many things that I personally live by, but I've gained more from just being around you. I told you guys, wisdom, a basket of wisdom, and we learn every day. So Miss Mmanti, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Real Talk with Ejay. I am your host, Ejay, and I will see you next time.